All right, to start our practice, let's come into our comfortable seated position. We're in our chair. We're going to sit with our back against the back of the chair and our feet flat on the floor. And if you're sitting on the mat, you're welcome to always grab a block or a pillow, have something under your hips. You can sit crisscross applesauce. Maybe also have the soles of your feet on the floor, your knees bent, and let your elbows rest on your knees. Or maybe extend the legs long. Wherever you're at, however you're choosing to rest your body here in this moment of grounding. Maybe you close your eyes. Maybe you simply soften your gaze, keeping your spine lengthened with each inhale, letting it grow even more towards the top of the ceiling. And with each exhale, grounding into the glutes and the thighs and the feet, allowing the surfaces you're contacting to press against you as you press down on them with your exhales. Really finding length and extension with each breath. If you haven't already, begin to relax your shoulders down the spine, letting your fingertips soften, your hands relax, your elbows hang by the sides, no matter what your hands are resting on. Continue to feel your breathing. Would you take a moment to notice the legs and any sensations throughout the body? Noticing any stiffness, any tightness, any inflexibility in this moment, in the muscles and joints throughout your body. Oftentimes, people will tell me that they're not flexible and so they can't do yoga. But I find that although yoga is wonderful for those of us who are flexible, the practice of yoga is not for the flexible, but it's for the inflexible. It's where we come to stretch our bodies incrementally, moment by moment, pose by pose. And as we breathe and relax and struggle with our demons in each pose, we soften into them. The flexibility comes with the breath. And maybe after moments, months, years, the body relaxes into each pose differently. This is because of a release of us allowing our body to do so. But just like in that physical practice, we can be stubborn with our emotions, with our mind, being inflexible to the world around us. So today I'm going to ask you to ask yourself, are you pliable? Are you flexible? Maybe you're a little bit stubborn. In being stubborn, we tend to put ourselves through unnecessary suffering to prove our rightness. We stand our ground. We try to prove our point, and we refuse to see something from another's point of view. But as I grow in my mindfulness practice, I'm realizing it's less important to be right than to be open-minded, flexible, instead of being rigid in my thoughts, set in my ways. Maybe let us be open to new ways. Let us be less stubborn, more open, flexible. Because more often than I'd like to admit, I'm usually humbled and pleasantly surprised when I open up to what is new. So as we take the last few breaths here, sense where you are being stubborn, closed-minded in your life. And as you gently breathe, and you begin to sense your tight grip on your views softening, becoming flexible. Beautiful job. Start to notice our breath. We'll take our breathing exercise for today, which is the buzzing or bee breath. With this breath, we press our lips together. And as we breathe in through our nose slowly, we fill our lungs deeply. And as we exhale through the nose, if it's available, we emit a soft hum that might sound like a drunken honeybee. If you're not having the ability to breathe through your nose today due to congestion or any other reason, you can have an open mouth breath and add the buzzing sensation yourself. Either way, as we take this breath for about 3 to 5 cycles more on our own, we feel the soft, deep vibrations throughout your face. And as you return to your normal breathing, see if you can rest quietly for a few moments, noticing the sensations throughout the body. Once more. We'll take one last deep breath here as we offer ourselves a little bit of gratitude that we took time out of our busy day to focus on our breathing and our movements, being with each pose, knowing that it's an opportunity, whether it's the pose or the transition or the flow, to allow yourself to release. Maybe try something a little new. Take one last breath here. As you're ready, flutter your eyes open, wiggle fingers and toes, lengthen our spine once more, And let's start to take some seated cat-cows, drawing the spine back as we exhale, rounding chin to chest, keeping the hands on the knees or as lengthened on the legs as feels good in your body. And then as you inhale, begin to pull your heart forward, your shoulders back, lifting chin in the air as you arch the spine. Shoulder blades touch as you slide the hands down the thighs. Let's take this a few times on your own, moving at your own pace. All right, go ahead and come back to your straight spine. If you're seated in the chair, go ahead and walk your left leg over to the left, just about a couple steps, one or two, and then start to send the right leg out long. You can keep the sole of the foot flat, or you can start to flex through the ankle, bringing the toes back towards the heel. And if you're seated on the floor, we're going to come into a similar leg pose, keeping that left foot tucked into the right thigh, letting the knee open a little to the side, and turning the right leg out long. And again, you can flex through those foot, or keep a bend in your knee, no matter where you're at. We're lengthening through our spine here. And then let's turn towards our extended leg. As we inhale, we really sit up tall. And then as we exhale, let's extend and fold over that extended leg a little or a lot. You can always wrap your strap around your foot, hold your legs, bring your hands to the floor. Just allow yourself to begin to sink and releasing through the lower spine as you do. One more exhale, softening a little bit more. As we inhale, go ahead and round your spine up to straight. We'll turn back towards center. We'll bring our left hand by our left hip, either on the floor or on the chair, and then start to send that right arm up and overhead, lengthening fingertip to toes. Really point your toes away from you, your fingertips away from you, stretching through this entire right side. If you're on the floor, you can stay on the hand or even come down onto the elbow, finding a little more length. Great job. Let's inhale and come through center, straight spine. And then we'll take it to the other side, bringing right leg in, finding the tuck or the slightly set left of center or right of center. And then send the left leg out long. Find that lengthen through the spine. And then as you exhale, twist towards that extended leg and find your hinge forward. Now, if you're seated in the chair, you're welcome to hold the chair for a little extra support, or maybe walk your one or both hands down. Inhale to come up to a straight spine. That right hand comes by right hip. The left hand comes up and over, pointing toes away as you stretch out through the entire left side of your body. Feel that length. All right, let's inhale and come through center. If you're seated in the chair, go ahead and come into either a mountain on the legs, or you are always welcome to take a crisscross applesauce. If you're on the floor, same goes. Anything that you want, maybe legs in crisscross applesauce. Feel free to sit back on a block. If you were sitting in crisscross earlier, maybe switch it up and sit in the opposite leg forward. As we lengthen through the spine, let's begin to drop our chin towards our chest and pull our shoulders back, lengthening through the back of the neck. And then with your next inhale, draw the chin up towards the ceiling, lifting it up, opening up through the front of the neck. Exhale, drop the chin towards the horizon, gaze towards the horizon. And then we're gonna start to look left and right, like we're looking over our shoulders while driving a car. So we'll keep our gaze at the horizon, simply turning at the neck, looking towards the right. And then exhale, look towards the left. Take it at your own speed, feeling this micro movements, the transitions, the flexibility, or maybe the aches or pains that might be there, stiffness or tightness. All right, go ahead, come back through center. Exhale, drop the chin towards the chest once more, opening up through the back of the neck. You can stay here or maybe start to rock the chin left to right along the front of the torso. Great job. Come back through center. Inhale, gaze all the way up towards the ceiling, chin up. And then again, you can stay here or maybe start to find that rock left to right, noticing how the different movements feel throughout the neck and shoulders and different parts of your body. Great job. Exhale, bring the gaze back to the horizon. And from there, we'll start to take torso circles, moving through our body in one direction, moving left to right, or right to left, whichever way you chose. Allow your spine to curl back like in cow and cat, and then your spine to curl forward like in cow pose. Great job. Exhale as you do, switch the direction. Go as fast or as slow as you'd like. Maybe changing it up throughout, but matching your breath to your movement. All right, go ahead and come back to your straight spine. We'll inhale and start to let the arms float up to a T. We'll then make sure our palms are pointed down. And then we'll drop the fingertips towards the floor, stretching through the tops of the wrists. Great job. Now inhale, bring them back through center. Start to pull the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Stop. Exhale, bring it back to our center. Go ahead and bring those palms forward, thumbs up, and then bring the fingertips in towards the palms like you have your thumbs up, and then bring those down. Pretend like you have a pitcher in each hand. It's Oktoberfest, and begin to pour those pitchers out. Noticing that stretch through the top of the wrist and any other muscles you might be feeling this in. Great job. As we inhale, we release that. And let's take a few wrist circles going in one direction a few times, and then we'll reverse those circles. Great job. You've done a great job on those arms. Let's go ahead and bring our hands in front of us like zombies, shoulder height. We'll then bring the fingertips up so they're pointing towards the ceiling. That stop once more. We'll take our fingertips of the opposite hand and start to pull the fingertips back, stretching through the wrist. Great job. Go ahead and take that thumb out to the side and then back. And then switch sides. Take it to the left side. Release. Stretch the thumb gently. Take any shape you'd like. And then from here, we're going to come into a heroes or a half heroes. So if we're seated on the floor, we're going to come with our knees together or separate. You have a block, of course, your feet together or separate. Sit back on your heels, tuck your toes, add pillows, blankets, anything that makes this comfortable for you. And if you're seated in the chair, we'll take it one side at a time. So we'll scoot to the right side, we'll walk that right foot back, you can keep the toes tucked or untucked. Try to drop that knee down towards the floor as much as feels comfortable for you. All right, no matter where you're at, we're gonna take our arms up and overhead. We're then gonna let that right hand come down the spine into cow face. Now you can maybe grab opposite fingertips, opposite wrist, or opposite elbows. You can grab your strap, bring it in between your hands, drawing that right elbow up towards the ceiling. So our goal here is to really try to lengthen through this right side of our body here. And if you're on the chair, you might want to scoot that left leg again over to the side, just a few footprints, adding a little stability here. Or you can always keep that hand up, left hand on the prop as well. All right, last breath here. Exhale to release that side. Inhale, let's take it to the other side. So go ahead and bring that left hand up and over. If you're on the chair, you're going to scoot to the left side and switch legs. We'll draw that left elbow up towards the ceiling, really working to keep our spine straight no matter where we're at. I love the strap option. I think it's a really nice resistance to have the strap in between the elbows. Sometimes using a prop can feel like we don't want to do it. We don't want to seem like it's a crutch, but we have to understand that that's just those stubborn, inflexible feelings that you can use props in many different ways, both to enhance or soften a pose. We'll take one more breath here. Let's exhale and release. And then we'll come into a seated staff, bringing our legs out long, keeping a bend in them maybe, or straightening them out. Toes can be flexed back towards your shins. You're seated in the chair. You may want to bring your prop under your legs, lifting them up just a little bit higher, but that's up to you. No pressure to do so. But as we inhale, we lengthen our spine. And as we exhale, we take a forward fold in our seated staff, reaching our hands maybe down our legs, and maybe if we're in the chair, we're holding on to the chair. You can reach towards our toes, or maybe have that strap wrapped around the bottom of your feet. Allow your body to sink in. And as you do, maybe your eyes close, maybe they don't. But take 3 buzzing breaths of your choice. With each exhale, see if you can soften into your pose a little bit more. Go ahead and find your natural breath. Inhale slowly to roll up to a straight spine. All right, for this next pose, I'm going to give the floor variation first and then the seated variation. So bear with me if you're seated in the chair for just a moment. On the floor, we're going to come down onto our bellies. We're going to come with our hands wider than our mat, but the palms firmly planted on the ground. Forehead pressing into the mat, elbows out towards the sides. And then you're going to begin to press into your hands, lifting your heart for an upward facing dog, moving through the spine. Now, if this feels too intense in your body in this moment, a great option will be to do a similar one to the chair, but from that hero's pose we were just in. And if you're seated in the chair, I want you to scoot your hips all the way back. Now begin to press into your hands at the base of your thighs, whether you're in heroes or in chair. If you're on the floor, your hands are wide, you're pressing into the ground. As you begin to press into your hands, you lift your heart, lift your chin, roll your shoulders back. Notice how that feels. Beautiful job. Exhale to release the spine back down. Now, seated in heroes on the floor or seated in the chair, we're going to inhale, circle our arms up and overhead, interlace the fingers, and then drop the hands so they support the head with the elbows out wide. Now, if this doesn't feel good in your shoulders, you can always take that first version with your hands on your thighs, pressing into them. All right, we'll begin to press into our hands, so maybe against our head or into the floor if we're on that laying Sphinx pose. As we inhale, we begin to lift the heart, open up through the chest, feel that heart lifting, chin lifting, elbows widening. Beautiful job. Exhale to release. And then from there, let's go ahead and come on up to standing. Get some standing movements into our practice today. Great job getting everything warmed up. We'll come into our mountain pose. We'll start our standing flow with the sun salutation, letting the arms float up and overhead, reaching up all the way up. And then with an exhale, hinge into your forward fold, reaching down towards the floor, or maybe a prop for your legs, letting the top of the head reach down towards the floor. As we inhale, we press into our hands, lifting up halfway, figure 7. Gaze stays down, core is engaged. Exhale to release. Deeper into your forward fold. Bend the knees, sink the hips, take a slow roll, coming all the way back up to your tall mountain. Reach both hands up high. Pause here. You can keep your hands apart. You can bring them together, or you can drop the right hand to your hip or dangle, but we're going to take it into a side bend to the right. Again, maybe trying something new today, being a little more flexible. Inhale through center. Exhale to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, cactus the arms, opening them wide. And then exhale down into your mountain. Alrighty, from here, let's take our feet a little wider than hip distance into a 5-pointed star. We'll inhale to circle those arms back up and out, pointing fingertips and toes in opposite directions. Feel length and extension here as well as your breath. Now let's take our hands in unison. We're going to reach them and swoop them down towards our right toes, or maybe our right knee, or maybe our right hip. But we're going to swoop them down, and then towards center, and then towards the left foot, and then come up and around. And when you reach the top pinnacle, I want you to bend through the knees, sink into a goddess. Arms come back into that W or cactus position, and sink into your knees and legs. All right, this is our first time here. Let's take just a moment. Feel free to maybe bounce a little or lift your heels, whatever feels good to settle into this pose. And then find a little bit of stillness, finding that spine straight. Great job. Inhale, circle arms up and overhead. All right, we're going to find this a little bit more fluidly now with our own breath. We'll go in the same direction for just a few cycles. Inhaling, exhaling, matching our movement as we swoop through that forward fold with our arms going from one side to the other, and then ending in the goddess pose. We'll take this for several rounds on our own, allowing ourselves to start to feel a rhythm with the movement. Take your goddess as deep. You can hold it as long as you'd like. Next time your arms are at the top, pause there, switch your direction. Doing great, last one around, inhaling to come up, widening the arms to 5-pointed star. Great job, go ahead and step it in. Coming into your mountain pose. All right, from here, we're gonna come into a mountain pose. And then let's step the right foot back and come into a high lunge, bending the knees, drawing the thighs together, engaging the core, starting to reach the hands towards the heart. Keep them on your hips, maybe lift them up overhead, maybe one's on a prop. Feel like you're squeezing those thighs together. Maybe bring a little smile to your face if you're feeling it. And then with your next exhale, let's twist towards that front leg, sending our arms out wide into a T. Great job. Inhale and come back through center. Again, hands might be lifted, or maybe you bring one to a prop, maybe one's on your hip, both on your hips. We're gonna start to find a little balance challenge here. So we're gonna start to bring our weight into that front leg, and then we're gonna kick off with those back foot. We're gonna bring it into a standing half staff with the knee bent in front of us. Always welcome to touch down if you would like on the way through. And then as we exhale, let's bring it over into a tree pose. So opening that knee out to the side, bringing the foot to the side of the leg, anywhere from the floor with the toes touching, all the way up to wherever feels good. You can even employ a block if you'd like here. And then your hands can be on a prop. Maybe you grow branches, maybe you find that W once more. Maybe you find an Egyptian walk. Deciding what feels right in this moment for you. Great job. Exhale to release back into your mountain. All right, let's take that second side, stepping opposite foot back. Bending through the front knee. Setting up your foundation, you know all the points from the feet, making sure you're not wobbly, all the way up through the core. When you're ready, finding your arms intentionally placed. Exhale the twist towards that front leg. Inhale to bring it through center. Let's find our balance challenge. Lifting off that back foot, bringing it through our standing staff. Opening the knee out to the side, finding your tree variation. Maybe feeling like an Olympic gymnast trying to land after an event. You're doing great. Exhale to release. All right, come back into your mountain. Go to side one, step it back, open it for a warrior two. Inhale, extend the arms to a T. Make sure you sink into that front knee as deeply as feels good today. Allowing yourself to make sure you're not pulling the knee towards center, but instead imagining it pushing your hand against it and it pushing back against it. And then sending the arms long. Great job. Keeping that knee bent, we'll reverse our warrior. Looking back at our back foot. Inhale to come through your warrior two, bringing hand to prop or knee or maybe elbow as we find our side angle of choice, making sure to work that back hip as low as we can instead of lifting it up high. Great job. Inhale to come back up through center. This time, go ahead and release that leg, straightening it out. Reverse your warrior one more time. Great job. Step it up through center. Second side. Opening up into warrior two. Sinking it in. Taking the time, making sure the toes are pointed, the thighs are engaged, the shoulder blades are kissing as you extend your arms. Reverse your warrior, looking at the back foot. Inhale to bring it through center. Exhale, side angle of your choice. Inhale to release, straight front leg, reverse your warrior one last time. Exhale, come back to your mountain. Great job. Feel free to take any movement you might want. All right, we're gonna set up for an eagle variation. So if you like your strap for eagle, feel free to grab it. If you like a little balancing with the wall or your chair, feel free to come back into a seat or bring your hips against a surface. We're going to take the arms wide into a T. We're gonna bring the right arm under the left arm. We're gonna cross them, start to hug our arms, walk our fingertips as far back on our shoulders as we can, keeping our spine straight. And then when we're ready, start to bend into the knees and sink into the hips, coming into a chair variation of eagle pose. Again, that back can be on the wall, or you could be taking it from your chair. Wherever we're at, our spine is straight. And if you want to keep your hands on your shoulders, you're welcome to, or you can start to work the backs of hands, the fronts of hands, or the strap in between your hands. Making sure not to give up that straight spine no matter where you land in your chair. Eagle pose. Your next exhale, see if you can sink a little bit deeper into the knees and hips if that's available. Great job. Inhale to release. Coming back to your arms to a T. If you're seated in the chair, just stay there, but find a little more of a release. And then as we exhale, let's take it. So the left arm is under right, taking it to the opposite side, walking fingertips back, beginning to bend into that chair pose. Sinking, keeping the spine straight, finding the eagle arm variation of your choice in this moment. Again, it doesn't have to be the same one you always choose. Maybe you're choosing to try something different. We'll take one last breath here. We'll inhale to release. Taking the arms out wide to a T one last time, maybe up and overhead. Exhale, hinge and fold. We're gonna pause here, maybe grabbing opposite elbows, and take a gentle ragdoll from left to right. Releasing the hands back to their previous location, we inhale to halfway lift, figure 7. Exhale, hinge and forward fold. Bend the knees, sink the hips, take it all the way back up to your tall mountain. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale through center, side bend to the left. Back through center, cactus or W. Exhale, release to your mountain. All righty, beautiful job here. And this next pose, it's going to be a bit of a balance challenge plus a nice hip, glute, and body work here. So we're gonna work a little with our lunges. If you want to have a prop either in front of you or beside you on the opposite side that you're working, feel free to have that available. We're gonna come from our mountain pose. We're gonna pick a side. You choose which side. It's up to you from this moment. Again, just flowing with the moment. Step it back for a high lunge. This is the first part of the flow. Sink it in on your exhale. And then as you inhale, step that back foot up. You can either step it and place the heel down, or you can just tap it down shortly, as short as you want. Then we're gonna take that foot out to the right side or whatever side that you're on and take it into a one-legged lunge. Come back through center. We're gonna keep it the same side. Foot down or tap, step it back. Take this at your own pace. Fast or slow. It could take you this whole time to do just one if that feels good for you. Notice how the body's feeling. Go only as deep or as shallow so as not to stress the muscles or the joints or the ligaments, but simply feel the movement in your body. We'll take one more on this side or one more breath on this side. We'll land in our mountain pose. All right, we'll take our curtsy lunge going in the opposite direction. Left foot back, through center, to the other side, center. Again, you want to go all out, get your heart rate up, feel free to do so. You want to take it slow, being mindful of the joints as you make each movement. That is also a great option. Finish up the breath that you're on. Come through mountain. Inhale, take those arms up and overhead. Reach them up, really up. And then exhale to bring hands to heart. And we'll find our way coming in to our chair or to the floor. Seated on the floor, we're always welcome to have a prop, maybe under our hips. And we're gonna come into a butterfly or cobbler's pose. So we're gonna bring the soles of the feet together, the knees out wide, maybe draw the hips as close or the heels as close to the hips as available. If you're seated in the chair, you could always bring a prop of any sort under your feet, even all the way up to your chair, if that is available in your body, not in mine, I don't feel comfortable. So finding the cobbler's pose that feels just nice and yummy for your body in this moment after all that juicy hip work we just did, and let it release. Now you can keep your spine tall. You can find a little bit of movement, maybe swaying or anything that feels good to your little heart in this moment. Or maybe you start to exhale and sink into more of a resting, restorative option of butterfly, drawing your heart closer to your heels, maybe finding a roundness through the spine as your chin comes towards your chest, allowing yourself to curl in to a little nugget here of a butterfly. Let's take one last breath here. And then inhale to come up to a straight spine. We'll bring the hands behind us if we're on the mat, and the feet a little bit wider than hip distance. And we'll start to find an active roll through the hips left to right in a windshield wiper-like movement. And if we're seated in the chair, same thing, you're maybe holding on to the chair. Allow the knees to flow left to right, dipping them down, maybe pumping the hip a little bit forward if that feels good in your body. All right, go ahead and come through stillness. You're on the mat. roll down onto your back. We're gonna take a figure 4, seated or on the mat, bringing our right ankle over towards our left knee and letting that right knee fall open out to the side. If you're on the mat, you might want to keep the foot on the floor. You could always extend the leg long, or you could always lift the foot off the floor and draw the knee a little closer towards your torso. You're seated in the chair, maybe the foot's on the knee, maybe it's down on the floor, or maybe there's a prop underneath it. Those are always great options. The knee is still open to the side. And you're as well welcome to keep the heart and torso long, or start to hinge forward as we notice what's happening in that hip. Great job. Inhale, coming through center. Exhale, releasing right side. Let's take it to the left. Letting that left knee fall open and ankle come to knee or wherever your variation is on this side. Keeping the spine tall, maybe drawing the heart towards the knee or the knee towards the heart. Allow yourself to sink in with each breath. Great job. One last breath here. Our exhale releases. Our last pose will be a ball of our choice. We're on the mat, we're curling knees in toward torso, maybe lifting forehead towards knees. You can find stillness or maybe a rock. You're seated in the chair. There's a couple of options. You can bring a pillow behind you and maybe lift one or both knees up towards your torso. You could also hinge forward, drawing your torso towards your knees, rounding your chin to your chest. So no matter where we're at, we're finding a closed in tight ball shape. Allow yourself to settle in here for just a few breaths. And maybe those breaths are our last buzzing breath of the day. And then find your natural breath. Begin to unfurl your ball shape into your final resting pose, whatever you choose to be today. From corpse pose to constructive rest, to adding any props of your choice, or maybe a legs up the wall, or anything else that feels supported in this moment, that feels like you can sustain for a few moments. And do allow yourself to settle into this pose of your choice. Feel free to add pillows, blankets, any props that you'd like, so that you can start to relax on command. Maybe you gently close your eyes or simply soften the gaze. And take a few intentionally deep breaths, allowing your body to relax, your mind to settle. Begin to bring your awareness to the top of your head. Slowly scan down through your body, noticing any areas of tension or tightness. Now, as you breathe, imagine sending your breath directly to those areas. The intention and the energy, inviting them to soften and release. Continuing the scan all the way down to your toes. Now begin to focus on your breath. Notice the natural rhythm of your inhalations and exhalations. With each breath, feel your body becoming more grounded, more centered here in this moment. Maybe even imagining your breath as a gentle wave, flowing in and out. Maybe bringing a sense of calm and ease. As we continue to breathe intentionally, deeply, we'll bring to mind the concept of flexibility versus stubbornness. Reflecting on areas in our life where we might be holding on too tightly, resisting change, or simply being inflexible. Take a moment to consider how this stubbornness might be affecting your well-being, or maybe even relationships. And as you think about these areas, notice the sensations throughout the body that may arise. Simply breathing here. Now begin to think about areas where you are more flexible, where you're open to new ideas. You're willing to adapt and flow. Notice how this flexibility can bring a sense of ease and flow into your life. Maybe even release some of those sensations that you may or may not have just been feeling when thinking about those inflexible moments, stubbornness. So gently asking ourselves the question one more time. Am I pliable? Allow this question to resonate within you without seeking an immediate answer. Simply observe any thoughts, feelings, or sensations that arise. Be curious and open to whatever comes up. Beautiful job today. We start to bring our awareness back to our breath. Taking a few more intentional, deep breaths. I hope our meditations today helps you to explore the balance
between flexibility and stubbornness in your own lives. And that you can carry a sense of awareness and openness with you as you move throughout the rest of your week. Taking the deepest breath of your day so far. And when you're ready, begin to wiggle fingers and toes, flutter the eyes open. And maybe by coming into an upright position in your own time and in your own way. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you have a great day. Till next time.